get the cake right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof style stuff. I'm on a grind up and chasing the stars. From Millmore to Do Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Do Valley.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm King Bush, your host, the best looking man in Rotherham, and I'm on the #1 Rotherham United statistically fan channel. How you doing, guys? I've got Bez with us, the legend, and I've got Tom, who I went to the game with on Wednesday night, and we absolutely caused havoc, mate. I didn't get beat up, though.
No. I think they saw the nick of me, mate, so it'll be fine.
Yeah. It must have been you. You must have scared them away.
But
we got nothing but love. So we're here tonight. We're going to talk the truth. We've got some great facts. We've got some great points to discuss. Unfortunately, Bib Boy's little fan club, nobody were willing enough to put a face to it to try and debate me. I had a good debate with one fan. In fairness, he gave some good points today, so I give credit to him. But some of these faceless comments are just a bit embarrassing. Got a lot of people watching live at the moment. We've got a lot of comments coming in. So Rotherham Gaming, KB Terrace Talk, #1 podcast. Definitely, mate, you're in the right place. 100%. Up the Millers. Is everyone I'm sure out or I'm sure in? Well, we will discuss that later in the show. I will tell you. Sitting on the fence. And John, if you're a happy clapper and you know it, let's clap to League Two. Evening, chaps.
All right, John.
Yeah, so John brings us on perfectly too. I mean, let's just bring ourselves back to the Blackpool game at home. Yeah, first of all, obviously we've got a lot to talk about. I'm trying to get it into 1 hour tonight as well, because obviously my second team, Manchester United, are playing, so I've got that on in the back as well. So I am cautious of time tonight. So we'll bring ourselves back to that. We played bottom of the league in Blackpool on a honking run. We managed to lose the game 3-0, believe it or not. And we're sat in the stand, Tom, and I was going crazy. I'm asking the people around me, what the hell are you guys clapping here? Because they sat there clapping. We've just got spanked 3-0 off bottom of the league Blackpool at home, and we've had 4 shots on target. I'm baffled by it. I mean, I get people have got this weird cult obsession with Paul Warne, and obviously because they think they don't know where Paul Warne ends and Matt Amshaw begins, they think they're part of the same person. It's a weird sort of cult. I think they have like evenings where they gather around a fire and play Paul Warne like old movies or something. It's just very, very weird, and it's really dragging this football club down. And this is why I've said the standards from our fan base is absolutely embarrassing. The standards are in the bin, and that's what I've said all along. So, Tom, what were your thoughts when you're seeing people clapping? You drove all the way from Scotland, and you were served up that. I mean, it took me 3 hours to get from Nottingham to watch it, and God, I wish I didn't bother.
I know. First of all, I mean, we're in that full bit, great, whatever. We met Kev. Kev's a really nice bloke, to be fair, and he's all right. And we went to the game, switched his tick. We spoke to a couple of young lasses in the queue. All right, and I think people just go through the motions of watching this club, and it's become acceptable now. It's now acceptable that we just get beat, and no matter what happens. And we sat obviously in the Ben Bennett, didn't we, Lee? And we were down the far end to start with. The second half, we went and met John, and then we watched it, and then at the end, when everyone's clapping the players, I'm like, oh, God, where's the standards gone? The standards, to quote you, my friend, are in the bin. It was awful. We played shite, and they were even shitter. So I don't know what we were doing on the pitch that day. I don't know. I don't know what the actual plan was. I have no idea. But to lose 3-0 at home on a Wednesday night, when they'd played Carlisle on the Sunday, so we had a bit more rest, right? And we just got walked over in the end, and it was an utter shambles. And it seemed like to me, apart from me and you and John, right? Everybody around us, we just accepted it. There wasn't even any sort of, what are you doing?
No emotion.
There was nothing. It was just like they'd gone there for a kip, and it was just like part and parcel of their weekly routine. It was awful. The stadium was a library. Sorry, a library would be more louder. It was just crap. And look, good points. I came back to my hometown, had a few beers, sang some songs in a pub on my own, had a really crap burger, and then I met, you know what? But yeah, it was awful. It was awful.
Few comments coming in. Happy Monday, Millers. Lee's in a good mood. Blackpool. I don't know what's going on here. Blackpool game was embarrassing. And also, I feel like a zombie going after last week. Yeah, it's just very poor. Ryan, I'm not looking forward to Huddersfield. So I mean, the game against Blackpool, again, I don't want to go into too much detail about Blackpool because obviously we've discussed it. But then the interview, I think we lost the game at Plymouth in Matt Hamshaw's interview because he was going on about the bus, the long travel. I mean, I feel sorry for Plymouth if their manager went off like that because they have to do that every other week, travel all over the country to go and play. It's just, and I think the standards are in the bin because Matt Hamshaw hasn't got very high standards. I think he along with the Happy Clappers would absolutely take mid-table in League One. They would, and Kev hit the nail on the head when he was saying, but if we had Sam Nombe, we would be mid-table. We would be higher up the table, or we get mid-table. Well, I don't want mid-table. I'm sorry, but we've got a top. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. We had a good budget under Steve Evans. We've got a decent budget with Matt Hamshaw. It's a top 7 budget. Don't care what anybody says, yeah? It's nonsense. We're chatting utter nonsense constantly. It's just a joke. Let's be honest, everyone talks about the run. We had 3 points in 5 games. Exactly, Ryan. I mean, this run that they're going on about, we also played some of the worst sides I've ever seen in League One that have then, I mean, Luton keep getting spanked. We only managed a draw with them. You know what I mean? We won games in that run that we shouldn't have won as well. But people forget it. And the real fans are voting with their feet because the attendances are dropping like a stone because it is awful to watch. I've enjoyed one game this season, and that was the Lincoln game. The rest of it has been shit in my eyes. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's brilliant. I think the team spirit, I'll give him credit. He built a team spirit. They were fighting back from losing positions, but losing to shit teams. Like, you're having to chase against, was it Oldham or whatever it was in the cup? Man City's under 11s. We're having to come from behind to beat teams like that. We should be wiping the floor with some of these teams. So, you know, T. Campbell, she says she feels sorry for Plymouth. Well, I don't know. They won. So I won't feel too sorry for Plymouth, but they beat us, so they got the 3 points. But On to Plymouth. I'm going to go with you first, Bez. What were your thoughts on the game? And then I'm going to start and go into stats on this nonsense and this myth that we are progressing as a football club. Or it's just the same. It's not even just the same, it's worse. And I'm going to prove that to you in a minute. But, Bez, talk to me about Plymouth, mate.
Well, before I go on to Plymouth, obviously I was the one who, was saying that even though we were on a run where we weren't losing, obviously I was the one who was saying that I felt performances weren't very good. And I also said that I felt that the quality of the team, the players, they were almost winning games themselves, the manager's input. I still feel we've got a quality team in terms of the recruitment that's been brought in. And yes, I know we've got injuries, but even so, we've still got that 11 or that squad of 16, whatever it is, that playing Blackpool and Plymouth was still strong enough to win both games, especially when both teams are quite poor. Now, I'm not one of these who I'll say this team's for, that team's for, that team's for. But Plymouth, especially, they are one of the poorest teams I've seen at this level. And I've even watched a couple of their podcasts themselves, like Plymouth podcast. I've watched the vlogs that Pie Face does, and they are a lot worse off than we are in terms of where they are. God knows why we didn't have the mentality that we were going to win that game, because I thought we would. I really thought Rotherham would have won the game against Plymouth. Now, to go into two games against the bottom two teams or two out of the bottom three, right, expect 6 points, and we got 0 points, 0 goals, and conceded 4 is disgusting, in my opinion. The performance against Plymouth, yes, on paper, it doesn't look too bad. But as I said in my post-match, in that second half, the only reason why Rotherham were going forward and forward and forward and forward was because Plymouth just came out and sat back. They had no interest in going forward.
Yeah, and I don't even think on paper it looks very good. We had 2 shots on target. The stats here. Let me just get you the stats up. We have had 2 shots on target.
Yeah. We've had more shots in general, more possession, more corners, I guess is what I was referring to. But you're right. The most important there to me, actually.
What corners? They were loving corners because they had all big lads at the back that were just heading it away.
Yeah.
It were not a problem.
The most important stat there to me was actually clear-cut chances. They had 2, we had 0. And we've heard, haven't we? Some people have a go at Jordan Hugo.
So if Sam Nombe plays in that game, do we win that game?
No, we don't. No, we don't win that game.
Chance. So I get people saying Hugo missed the sitter, and he did. However, it wasn't a great piece of play. It was defender's mistake. You were expecting him to clear it, because at that level,
that's the Blackpool game, aren't you?
That ball should never have got to Hugo at that level. Yeah. So he's not he should anticipate it, should be on his toes, and he should put it away. But he doesn't. I'll give him that. But other than that, name the chances that the strikers are missing. They're not. They're not missing because we ain't creating any. And we've got
Hugo. Yeah. The Hugo chance was the Blackpool one, weren't it? Not Plymouth. Let's just clear that off. You're at the Blackpool game, aren't you?
That's what I said. Blackpool. Yeah, so, I get that. But what chances has he missed at Plymouth?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I've just said that the stat there to me is that they had 2 clear-cut chances and we had 0. That's the most important stat on the screen there. That's what I was trying to say. So if you'd have played Nombe ahead of Hugo, no, it wouldn't have made any difference. Now, everyone knows that Nombe is a different type of player to Hugo. Everyone knows that. Nombe runs the channels. Nombe closes and presses. Yes, he does. But he only scores goals when he's getting chances. If you look at most of Nombe's goals, they are from crosses into the box or, chances that's being created. So playing Nombe instead of Hugo on Saturday would have made no difference. However, if we had played Hugo and Nombe as a front 2, that might have made a difference, to be fair.
He won't play a front 2, though.
You what, sorry?
He won't play a front 2. And this
Well,
is the problem.
he needs to. He needs to. Like, if you're playing 3 at the back, you have to play 2 up front.
Against
really.
the bottom of the league at home, you should be playing with a minimum of 2 strikers. He could have played Ayres and Hugo. He could have played Martha up front with Hugo.
Yeah.
He could have done a whole host of things, and he didn't do
Although
it.
I do.
I'm gonna go through a few comments.
Just on that, I actually felt that Ayres really struggled when he came on, to be honest. I
don't think he's good enough, but we'll discuss that again as well. Quite a lot of comments. T. Campbell, it might have been shit, but still support. Yeah, we'll always support Rotherham, T. We love the football club, but we're not going to accept standards in the bin. We're not going to sit here to get an interview off a player or anything like that and just say, yeah, everything was fine, because it's not. The standards are not right at the football club. Evening, everyone. Hope you have an amazing podcast. Always great to hear your passion and views as fans of the club. Bushy is a true Rotherham fan, not these idiots that back Bib Boy, no matter what. Thank you, Danny Wallace. Yep, fantastic. Absolutely dreading this Saturday, pal. Need to walk away with 3 points. It's a big ask. It feels at the minute. Plymouth have not won a home league since late September. No excuses. It's pathetic. People blaming Hugo as well. Yeah, the guy that's put his body on the line for the football club, the guy that's put more effort in.
He's also not fully fit. He's injured. He's injured as well.
But forget that. It's Hugo's fault that we can't create any chances. Need a slap. He's Mr. Consistent and done everything he can to help us. So, yeah, I mean, he's totally spot on with that. So, yeah. Tom, your thoughts on Plymouth, the Plymouth game?
As I said in my post-match lead, there was a number of issues I had with that game. Plymouth, as soon as they went 1-0 up, had zero intentions of trying to score again. They were missing their best striker, that lad that was it Port Vale, was it? What's he called again? They had zero intentions. Yeah, that's the one, Talaj. They had zero intention of trying to score again. We had, 12 corners, did I see? 12 corners, right? Not one created an issue for that cheat in goal for them. What's he called? Hazard, whatever he's called, right? Matt Hamshaw's substitutions in that game were completely bizarre, in my personal opinion. What minute did Ayres come on in? Was it in the 60th, maybe? I think it might have been round about that point in time. But what was that at the end? We're 7 minutes added on, which I think should have been more, owing to that Connor Hazard laying on the floor every 5 minutes, right, with a pretend injury because we were sieging their goal. He brought on Sean Raggett in the 92nd minute. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then sent him up front. And then, bizarrely, we're running the clock. The clock's getting run down. He brings Jack Holmes on for Martha with 1 minute to go. I mean, what was that about?
Normally a team that's winning makes these daft substitutions to run the clock down. Our manager tries to do it the opposite way around. I mean, he's put a defender on to go up front. Why didn't he just ask the defender on the pitch to go up front?
It was mad.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, what was the Jack Holmes one? What was the Jack Holmes one in the last minute? Was Martha injured? Did he think that Jack Holmes would do something different that Martha could do, run the clock down a bit more, and then, lo and behold, 40 seconds later, the whistle gets blown? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I mean, it's embarrassing for Holmes, right? Coming on with 40 seconds to go when you're losing 1-0. I mean, if you're going to make these changes, you do it 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes prior, surely. So, yeah, clueless. And Phil, our host of the Sunday service and amongst other shows, he made a really good point last night, which I agree with. All Hamshaw's post-match interviews, it's like he's a cult member and he's being drugged up and he's like, wow, yeah, he's like smiling. It's weird. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's happy with mid-table, isn't he? He's happy with mid-table. I've got a comment here. I'm going to let one of you guys respond to this comment. So, Nicky Holland, 33 shots and 22 corners in the last 2 games against 2 sides in relegation. How Ayres never started after the way he played at Salford is beyond me. Ayres puts effort in. Hugill doesn't move. Why not give the lad a start? Hugill has scored 17 goals in roughly 120 odd games. Put that to you guys.
Yeah, so first of all, what I would say is agreed that Ayres against Salford, he played really well, scored a goal, but you can't use the EFL Trophy game as any sort of kind of way to see how good a player is. You know, Hugo last season in the EFL Trophy scored like 6 goals in like 3 games or 4 games. So yeah, I don't think you can use that to say this player's good enough to play. I felt, as I just said, Josh Ayres, when he came on Saturday, I actually felt we lost our way a little bit. I don't think he got involved at all. Yes, he should have had a penalty, 100%.
Yeah,
it wasn't definitely a penalty. Yeah. But apart from that, I didn't even see him touch the ball. I didn't see him win any headers. And Hugo, to be fair to him, he's obviously a little bit like Marmite at the minute. He seems to be a player who's either loved or hated.
Well, he's not fully fit.
No, exactly. You got to go with Hugo. He's not fully fit. He must have got 3 or 4 different injuries. And he's
by the way, that ball he played over the top. If Beckham would have played, that would have been loading it.
I know, the one where he switched it to Marta. Yeah, that was class. People don't remember that, do they? But yeah, also just on Hugo, I've seen somewhere where they're blaming Hugo for the goal. So Hugo obviously has the ball at the halfway line, and I think he tries to win a free kick and he doesn't, and they score. I'm not being funny. There's another 10 men behind the ball and also in front of our goal to stop that. How you can blame Hugo, I'll never know. That's probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, to be honest.
Nicky says Hugo needs a rest. Give Ayres a chance.
Again, it's a fair point. I just don't think Ayres is good enough. Personally, I would rather play that Gardner. I think that Gardner looks good, and I would like to see him given a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does bring a point. I mean, Hugo is struggling. He's not fully fit, but I still want us to play 2 up front, and I would play Hugo with somebody. And if it is Ayres, give him a chance. He's given him a contract. The only thing I would say about Ayres, he runs like he's a 60-year-old bloke, and he's about 18, innit?
He's just 20 now. Well, what I would say is, when was the last time Ayres came on, right? What was the last time when Ayres came on in the league game? What did he do? He did nothing, and he got subbed back off.
Yeah, he got subbed back.
I get the impression
I'm sure that falls on the manager again.
Yeah.
Falls on the manager again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give some facts now to the Muppets that want to say that we've progressed or we're doing this, we're doing that. So I'm going to ask you this, Tom. What position do you think we was in last season after 20 games?
Well, I think I kind of know. Are we not 14th, maybe? 14th, 15th?
Nope.
We're lower, are we?
At this point last season, we were 10th.
We? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here you go, league table. So just so we can get the actual facts of what we're talking about, we were sat at 10th in the table. Okay.
Above Charlton. Look at that. Above Charlton.
Who actually got promoted, by the way.
They did.
So last season, after 20 games, we were 10th. This season, after 20 games, we are 15th.
2 points off the drop.
That's a 5-place drop. That's not an opinion. That is factual. Yeah? It's not an opinion. Factual. Last season, we had 27 points. This season, we've got 24. So that's 3 fewer points. That's not opinion. That's factual. Okay? So last season, our goal difference at this period was +1. This season, it's -4. So that's a 5-goal swing backwards. So we've scored fewer goals. We've conceded more goals. Goal difference doesn't lie. We're weaker at both ends. So where is the progression that these Matt Amshaw cult lovers are talking about? Last season, we had more wins as well.
Wow.
And what about this league as well? This is true as well. The league was probably tougher last year than it was this season as well. That's a great shout by
And
Nicky
it
Holland.
was because we had Birmingham, we had Wrexham, all that spent heavily.
Yeah.
And this year we haven't got them. So Nicky Holland makes a great point. A lot tougher league as well. So where like, I don't mean to be rude to people online, but I am just getting so frustrated that fans are allowing us to be sat 15th in the table on -4 goal difference below teams like Wimbledon, Stevenage, Lincoln City, Northampton. It's a fucking joke. And I'm not just going to sit there and watch my football club decline in such a state that it's declining at the minute, because it's just not right. I mean, where do we go from here? I don't know what's going on with the screen. It's going a bit wild. But where do we go from here? The performances are dropping crowds. So the crowds are dropping. They're now blaming injuries. Now, I'm not being funny, but how can you blame injuries when you employed this Ross, Mr. Six-Pack, don't care about football's hamstrings, decides to injure players? He did it at Huddersfield. He did it at Derby. We didn't learn his lessons, yeah? We signed Etete knowing he'd got injury issues. We signed Benson knowing he'd got injury issues. We signed Coyote knowing he ain't going to play more than 5 games a season. He hasn't since he's been with us. And then we want to say it's bad luck. No, it's bad management. It's bad use of the budget. We've signed players that aren't good enough. It doesn't matter what Jack Holmes is on. The kid should be playing at Parkgate FC. He's not good enough. Yeah? Josh Ayres, lovely young kid through the academy. I'm sorry, he's not up to League One level. He's not good enough. A team now needs to be built as a squad. It's not just the 11 on the pitch. Every team has got injuries. Blackpool, I was speaking to a Blackpool fan before the game at home to Blackpool. He said they had 6 or 7 out. Same as us. But their manager ain't moaning about it every week. All we get from Matt Amshaw is, when I get my team, when I get my players back, every week. And I said Tony Stewart does need to back him with a striker. But I look at it as a businessman, and I think, actually, the guy agreed to a budget at the start of the season. He's then come with a begging ball halfway through and told me we need a centre half. If we get this centre half, we're then going to challenge. I give him the centre half, and we're still 2 points. We're 2 points off the relegation zone, lads. And we've played a game more than the other teams, and it's a worse league than it was last season. So actually, people were calling for Steve Evans, but we're not allowed to call for Matt Amshaw because it's a rebuild. But it's a rebuild every season, lads. Because let's bear no bones about it. If we stay in this division, Dango goes, Hall goes, Martha goes. They're not going to want to play in a mid-table League One team. And that's where we're heading, a League One. But some of our fans suddenly believe Martha's the next Bukayo Saka, the way they go on about him. Trying to sell him. Oh, we're going to get loads of money for him. Are we? He's inconsistent. He's a decent player. You see bits and bits, but he's learning his trade. As soon as he learns it and he comes off decent, he goes anyway. So then we have to rebuild again. It's just nonsense, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. It's usually faceless profiles that come on trying to aggravate people, but it is so frustrating at the moment. that fans are just clapping the way to League Two in my eyes. Because for me, and I'm not saying, I mean, I'll say it now. Who believes that we should keep Matt Hamshaw? Are you Matt Hamshaw out, or do you think we should give him more time? Because I'm not saying I'm Matt Hamshaw out. I'm saying give him till January, see how we got on over the Christmas period, and then make a decision. Or do we just get rid?
Yeah, I remember last year where Rotherham went to Barnsley around November time. It might have been December. And they lost to Barnsley on that Friday night 2-0. And, Evans were getting a right lot of stick from the Rotherham crowd. And I felt that he was going to get sacked. And he didn't. He kept his job and he stayed up until April time or whenever he lost his job. Now, for me, Hamshaw's had enough time. He took over in about the same time as Evans a year later, and he's had the same chance. I think that our squad, as I've already said, is good enough to be challenging for a top 6 place. I want him sacked. I think we could go down with Hamshaw in charge, even though we've got the 7th biggest budget in this league, and I do think we've got one of the best squads in this league. Yes, there are injuries, but we played Mansfield and lost 2-1. They had more injuries than we had. That's a fact. The injuries, yeah, I get it's not great, but every team has injuries. It's not an excuse anymore.
Yeah, you've got to deal with injuries. Tom, where are you at with it? Are you on the in or out sort of vibe?
I'm leaning towards the out, but it's going to depend on where we are come New Year's Day, to be honest with you.
Are you giving him the Christmas period?
We have to, don't we? Because we're not going to get anybody before that. And if he goes, who takes over as interim? Richard Wood. I mean, that was a disaster last time. So he's going to be here. I think he needs some positive results. I think Huddersfield's on a Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Huddersfield.
They're not in great form though.
No,
it should be
I
a game we should look to win. I believe.
It depends where we are, because if it was up to me, right, I'd say thanks, Matt. Thanks for all your hard work. We'll see you later, mate. Personally, but I'm thinking, wow, the board will think here. I think once we get to January, if we are literally hanging around them relegation spots, or even in there, right, they're going to have to pull the trigger. This unbeaten run myth thing. Yeah, we're unbeaten. But how many games did we win in that unbeaten run? 3? Was it? Was it 3 games and everything else was a draw? It's not good enough. It's crap. So basically, it's like saying, if we'd have drawn the last 2 games, we'd have had 2 points instead of 6 points. We've now lost those last 2 games. We've got 0 points. And now we're playing Huddersfield. I said at the start of this run on our group, 7 points bare minimum. Because after Huddersfield, we've got Bolton, right? So let's just say, and I hope I'm wrong, we'll lose to Huddersfield. And then Bolton turn us over. That's 4 games in a row we've lost, right? I know this has not happened yet, but there's every potential that this could happen. In fact, it's leaning more towards that this will happen. What do we do then? If we're in that relegation zone, what does the chairman do? Lads.
I'll just go through a few comments. Nicky Holland says All is our best player. Do we agree with that, guys? Or I would say Dan Gore's
I'd say he's our best signing, yeah. But Dan Gore's our best
signing, yeah. He's best permanent, but I would say Dan Gore is our best player. What about you, Tom?
I think Dan Gore, I think it's guaranteed we lose him in January now, sadly. If we'd have won those 2 games, Blackpool...
Luton? You didn't say Luton, did you?
No, Blackpool and Plymouth. If we'd have won those games, I think Dan Gore... I think they'd have looked at Dan Gore and said, we'll leave him in League One. He's fighting for a bit of promotion here, right? I think United recall him and send him the Championship.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah. I thought you said he's going to go on loan to Luton, and I was like, that's
no. He's going. It'll be I guarantee, and and if I'm wrong, right, I'll do some forfeit. He'll be a championship player in January at some point.
I disagree with that, Tom.
David Carroll says he thinks we will go down.
I don't think we will.
We'll go down.
I don't think we will, but I mean, it'll be touch and go.
Yeah, we can't go down, surely. Nicky Holland says, give him more time. I believe next season will be far better. So, Nicky, just out of interest, I respect your opinion. What signs do you get, what you've seen so far, that you think that next season will be better? Because I feel next season will be more difficult because you'll get the likes of Sheffield Wednesday coming down that will just add a new ownership. So we'll probably be pumping money into it. So two better teams from because this league's not very good this season. So we're not really going to lose a super team, but we're going to gain sort of three probably good teams. I mean, even Norwich are down at the bottom at the minute down there. That'll definitely come down, but they're going to have new ownership, so they're going to come straight back up. I can tell you that right now. So what have you seen from a Matt Amshaw team that makes you believe that things will be better next season? That's all I'm asking, and we can debate that.
Just on that, Lee. Actually, you've got a good point, actually, because I know we have got injuries, and that seems to be the excuse that Hampshire and then Hampshire fans are kind of relying on, right? Which is fine, but do you know when you've got injuries, right, and the fact you can still put an 11 out, and they're all pretty much in position, arguably Marta is out of position, right? But does anyone see like any sort of style? Like, are we trying to like be a direct side? Are we trying to be like fast paced? Are we trying to play football? Does any of you two, do you actually know what he's trying to do, honestly, or not?
No. I think one thing to mention, Bez, was that the first time this season we had more possession than the opposition team. I think it probably potentially.
I think, yeah, we don't have a lot more opposition more often, but I think there has been a couple of games there we have. To be fair, I'll have a look.
Yeah. A few more comments. Nobody will come here. David Carroll.
I think there's plenty of League Two and even National League managers, which I know you're not like Lee, but top managers who are top of the league in their respective leagues will come here. I really do think that.
I still think Alex Revel would come as well.
Agreed, yeah.
Worst thing is next season will be another turnover of players, rebuild again. Great show, lads. Keep up the good work. Thank you, David. Really do appreciate it, mate. Right, so Nicky Holland has come back to him, so respect for him for that. So be respectful, guys, to what he's got to say. Everybody's got, like I say, everybody's got a fair opinion, and we just want to have a healthy debate with people and see if you can change our minds. On Matt I haven't told you whether I'd keep Matt Amshaw or not yet, so I will give my opinion on the situation as well after this. But we'll read Nicky's comment out. So players he's brung in are far better than Evans brung in. Also, we will lose some of the shite Hamshaw's been left with. I think in stages we do see good football rather than the long ball under Evans. Right, so let me just dissect that. I just want to ask you a couple more questions back to that, Nicky. So what players are you saying that is going to lose that Evans signed that are shy that you think Hampshire will get rid of? I just want you to name those players that you think that Hampshire will get rid of, because I think you'd be quite surprised of who he would actually keep, and I'll tell you why he would as well. I feel Hampshire is trying to do what Warren did with the young players, and I like that.
No, I agree with that. To be fair,
listen, I wanted a younger squad. I'm not going to lie about that, but they need to be good enough. Unfortunately, I absolutely love Denzel Hall. I think he's a cracking player. I love Martha. I think he's a bit inconsistent at the minute, but I think he will come good. I really like Coletta. I really do like Coletta. I want to see him starting. He can really give teams problems with that pace of his. He's looked strong. I really like him. Spencer's been poor for a couple of games, but I really do like Kean Spence. I think there is a player in there. Obviously, I love Dan Gore. He's my favourite. And I love Lenny Agbear. I think he's a great signing as well. So I do agree with Nicky on certain points of, I think the signings have been better than there was last year. I think the recruitment's been better. But that to me says that makes this situation even worse, that he's not getting a tune out of these better players. And that's my concern. And if I'm the chairman, I'm concerned at and that's why I'm sure he hasn't sanctioned the Watmore deal, because I think he is now really considering whether Ham can do it. That's my opinion.
And that's why, Lee, I want him sacked before January, because you just if you don't trust him already, why would he give him another month of transfer of the window?
Yeah. So Nicky's just said again, sorry, I mean the players that have already been here when Hamshaw came. So that's what I'm asking you, Nicky. What of those players that was already here do you think Hamshaw would want to get rid of?
I want you to name the players.
Yeah, name them.
Yeah. Lee, can I just say, Nicky, I don't know if you're a girl or a boy, get yourself on our podcast, because you're making some great points and we'd love to have a chat with you.
Yeah, he has done some good points tonight, to be fair to him. And like I said, there's this perception online that I'm not going to listen to other people. I have set this up because I want freedom of speech, freedom of expression for Rotherham United fans. If I don't agree with you, that doesn't mean we have to hate each other, or I need to call you names, or you need to call me names. I just respond to the names that people call me. So I respond back. If someone speaks to me like shit, I'll speak to them back like shit. It's a two-way thing in life. Do you know what I mean? But if somebody gives valid points, and I can say, Nicky's raised some good points there. I don't fully agree with all of them, but I can see where he's coming from. We're all Millers at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I want the best for this football club. I love this football club. Yeah. You love the football club. We all do. Do you know what I mean? Like, end of the day, we shouldn't be at each other's throats all the time. Just because we don't agree with each other, but that just seems to happen. I'm going to call you names, Lee. Reddit, you sexy bastard. Still nearly got me banned though. Oh yeah, he's thinking I nearly got him banned from the stadium. Well, I got banned from the stadium anyway. I'm banned by the look of it. So Tom had to get my ticket. He wouldn't serve me at the thing. I give my name. They were like, no, not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed in, yeah. So they wouldn't let me in. So, yeah, just give me the place. So, what I'm going to say is, regarding the players that people are saying that Matt Hamshaw would get rid of. So, we'll start with the goalkeeper. So, somebody said to me today, well, he's been lumbered with Cam Dawson and he's on a lot of money. He signed a goalkeeper and he still plays Cam Dawson. In his interview, he said Cam Dawson is one of the best keepers in League One. That ain't me saying that. That's Matt Hamshaw saying that. So he would not get rid, and he has put it, I've told you, Dawson. Right, so I'm going to go through this list now and break it down. So, Matt Dawson, he will offer a new contract to Matt Dawson. I will tell you that now. Yeah? He picks him above his own signing. Yeah? He picks him above his own signings. He also says he's the best goalkeeper in League One. Okay? You've put Coyote. He's already given him a new deal. He was out of contract last season, Joshua Coyote. Hamshaw gave him a new contract. So if he wanted to get rid of him, he should have got rid of him then. He gave him the new contract. Okay?
Yeah.
Zach Jules, maybe he's been injury prone, but in fairness, he was really good the season before. So I don't know what's happening. And obviously Jordan Hugel. And I think Bez has said he'd probably this season maybe call it end with Hugel. So yeah, fair enough, Hugel. But looking at that, I mean, and Powell is
the manager really likes Powell because he's shooting.
He will not drop Powell. He picks Powell above Yearwood, who he signed again.
Yeah.
So he likes Powell. He won't get rid of Powell.
What I would say about Powell actually on Saturday is, so Powell started at left wing back, and again he struggled. When he moved into midfield, he actually looked all right, I felt, Powell. Now, just on Yearwood, I was annoyed that Yearwood got brought off because I felt Yearwood did all right in that first half. But when Powell moved to midfield, he improved quite significantly. So I'm hoping that on Saturday we don't play Powell at left wing back. Put Mortar there. Just put someone else there. Just don't put Powell there, please.
Well, we should have James back anyway.
Well, why is he concussion? Were he concussion, James?
He were only out because of concussion
Okay.
protocol, I think. Yeah, so I agree with you. Really don't know what he was thinking with Ted Can. Yeah, I mean, Ted Can.
Just a cheap backup, that's all it is, isn't it?
A cheap backup, because the thing with Matt Hamshaw is he does really rate Dawson. So when people say that, it makes me laugh that they think that he's just been hampered with Dawson. He will give Dawson a new contract. No guarantee, no questions asked about it. He thinks that Dawson is one of the best goalkeepers in League One. Whether you agree with that or not, that is what Matt Hamshaw thinks.
What do you think, Lee? Do you think he's one of the best keepers in League One?
I think he's adequate, is what I would say. I think he's been promoted from the league, so I don't think the goalkeeper is the issue at this football club.
Okay.
A lot of people do, but I think we've got bigger issues than the goalkeeper. And I think the biggest issue because I could pick a team, I'd be confident picking a team, even with the injuries we've got now. I'd be confident of picking a team and a formation that can beat any team in this league. I'm confident of it. And I'm confident I tell you now, if you replace the manager at the start of the season with Neil Warnock, we'd be in the top 3.
I agree with you.
Yeah. And that shows you it's down to the manager for me. So you're asking me, would I get rid of Matt Hamshaw at this stage? And I'm going to probably shock you. I'm going to say no, I wouldn't. And the only reason why I'm going to say no, I wouldn't, is because I don't trust Tony Stewart to appoint a right manager. And I think we're just going to go back to something that's wrong again. He's got a terrible, terrible track record of appointing managers. He got lucky with Paul Ward. He should have kept Neil Warnock. And for me, I just don't trust him to pick a manager that's going to be. I just don't.
Okay.
We need to get somebody in the back room that knows about football and get the right man in. If I were to be convinced we'd get the right man, I'd say, yeah, do it. But actually, I think the way the club is run behind the scenes is having an effect on the pitch now. And unless you get a really competent, really good manager, I think any manager is going to struggle.
But based on that comment, Lee, you're almost saying that Hamshaw's going to be here for a long time, because there's no way Stewart's leaving the football club anytime soon. Yeah. So if you're saying that, you're saying we're not going to employ a new manager until he leaves.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's going to get rid of Matt Hamshaw. I really don't, because I think the chairman has checked out. I think he give him a bit of money this season in the hope he can get some good young players in that we can sell on. He's got no intention of progressing the football club beyond where it's at now.
I mean, also, it makes no sense because, okay, so we all admit that we have brought in 3 or 4 players where we've got some good resale value. We all agree with that, right? Yeah. I guarantee that if we're in League One, let's say we're in League One, right? The best you'll get for someone like a Marta, Denzel Hall, not Marta, we'll go Denzel Hall. The best you'll get in League One is £1 million, right? If you're in Championship, you could get 3 or 4 million for him. So why would you not try and push the club back to Championship, where historically we've always got more money when we've been in the Championship? You know, Will Vox left when we were at Championship or Dean relegated. He went for a lot of money. Danny Ward went when we got relegated from Championship. He went for a lot of money. Most of our big sales are when we've just come out of the Championship. So it makes no sense not to like push the club to try and get promotion, to try and get that bigger fee on these players.
Because for me, Tony Stewart has checked out. So it's like, I'll put it in a different analogy. So you have a car, brand spanking new. You take care of it, you nurture it, you love it. It's your pride and joy. Starts to get older, starts to cost you a bit of money. You fall out of love with that car. Things go wrong with it, but you think, no, I'm not going to mess with that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Because I think Tony Stewart is at a point now where he is close to possibly selling the football club. I believe he is at that point, and that's why I believe he is running the asset. It's a very, if you run a business in thing, you can see when somebody's looking to sell it on. And it's all the aspects of it. So it's building a squad that's actually got a bit of squad value, because that increases your value when you come to sell the club. Yeah. So the biggest value of Rotherham United, because they don't own the training ground and they don't own the stadium that's owned by the ASD, the actual main assets are on the pitch. Well, we didn't have any because we had all old players. So he got the younger players in, which build the asset and the business up, prepared to sell. And that, for me, is what he's doing. I think he's just happy to, as long as we stay in. Now, if there's a chance that we can go down, that's when I'm sure he may just pull the trigger, because he may panic. But as long as he keeps us mid-table, I think he'll be looking to sell at the end of the season. I think he's fell out of love with the game. He admitted that the season he brought Evans in, and he said, it's made him fell back in love with the game. But then it went wrong. So he obviously is not in love with the game anymore. He got a cheap option of manager in Hampshire. So again, it's but he gave him a long-term deal so he can set to an investor. He's a young and up-and-coming manager. He's well thought of in the game. We've got this young squad that's capable of doing things. And it brings the price of the football club up, and he sells off and sells into the sunset. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that that's factual, because it's not. That's just my opinion. What about you, Tom? What do you think, mate?
I mean, a lot of the happy clappers will beat us with the stick about how we run a sustainable club and all that sort of stuff. But what's the point of being sustainable if your fan base is miserable? I think he's going to have to sell up personally sooner rather than later, because we're going one way and it's down.
Yeah. Okay. Quite a few comments coming in again. So we've got Roy Grant, new to the channel. I've not seen his name before as well. The biggest issue with the club is a striker. I think we've discussed that already tonight. I don't think we create enough service to say that a striker is going to make much of a difference.
Let me play devil's advocate with you then, Lee. Now, obviously, we have the same thoughts on the striker situation and Hugo and what have you, right? So if I'm one of these Happy Clapper fans, right, and I'm making excuses for Hampshire and the fact that we're not winning games and it's down to not scoring and what have you. So I say that if Nombe would have played, obviously we might have won the game, and you say no because we're not creating. Okay, so what if I told you that when Nombe's played this season, he's only played like a handful of games, he's actually scored 3 goals in those 5 or 6 games, and nothing's changed in terms of, like, we weren't more creative then than we are now, but he was still scoring. So how would you come back on that?
So what I'd come back on that is how many games has he actually played?
Let me have a look for you.
And he's scored 3 goals and he's created not one single assist, by the way.
I know, but yeah, but I'm not saying he's creating. I'm trying to say that he's still scoring goals, even though we're saying
goals
Robert
in a 20-game season.
Say that again, sorry.
He's only scored 3 goals.
Yeah, but he's only played about 6 or 7
that in a game. We're talking about Nombe like he's Haaland. Haaland has banged 3 goals in a game. This guy has scored 3 goals and got not one single assist. Now, I like Nombe, but is he going to make a massive, massive difference to where we finish over a 20-game season?
No, but what I'm trying to say is the Happy Clappers can easily say that we're saying that we don't create a lot and that's why none of the strikers are scoring. But they can come back and say, yeah, but when Nombe played, he was scoring 3 goals in 7 games. So how can he score when we're not creating anything? Yeah,
7 games.
Yeah, 7. It's 3 and 7, yeah.
So 3 goals in 7 games and no assist. You think that's going to push us higher than 10th in the table?
No, I don't. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm
just saying. I just don't see it. Like, I mean, will we be a better team with Nombe in it? Absolutely, because he's a better player. Yeah, but for some reason as well, it's unfair to judge Jordan Hugill because Sam Nombe, when he plays, he doesn't play up front on his own.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So Hugill is being judged. Hugill can't play a striker on his own. He's not quick enough. Yeah. The only player that could really play it is probably Sam Nombe or maybe Sharif. I'm not even so sure if Sharif could play it because of his age. He's a bit young. But it's unfair to say play Jordan Hugill on his own. He needs to be playing 2 up front. That's when we've performed better. When we're beating teams, we're playing a different formation because for some reason, if Nombe isn't fit, he just goes to one striker.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I tell you why, because he doesn't trust any of the other strikers that he got. He doesn't trust Cortez. He doesn't trust him, whether you like it or not. He doesn't. He doesn't trust Martha to play up top. So he plays 1 up front. And that is why we're not scoring goals. When you're playing 1 up front against the bottom of the league, we've played the bottom 2 teams, probably the worst teams in the league. We've conceded 4 goals and scored no goals. It's not good enough. Few more comments. The biggest issue is I've just read that
one. Yeah.
He's still paying off managers from previous. Yeah. I don't think so. Richardson has now got a job.
Yeah, Steve Evans, he still is.
So I think it's just Steve Evans is still paying off.
Evans,
David Carroll says Tony needs to go. Broke my heart seeing Ogbene sold for 6 million. He went for nothing, didn't he? Ogbene.
He's on about from Luton to Ipswich, I think.
Oh, right, when he saw, yeah. And we got nothing for him because, again, we run terribly. Safe standing would have been nice, but that was rejected. Yeah, I think they need to do something. Me and Tom couldn't believe the atmosphere at the stadium. It was like a bloody morgue. The guy next to him was talking about some operation, wasn't he?
He was He was on about his ingrown toenail, I think.
You can't be too surprised because look at the state of the football. You know, like I've been going like Joe. If you would, I'd love to see like a picture of the ground and how full it was like a year ago, and just do 1 game every month, and you can see how empty it's now. It now is compared to what it were.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we're going to move on now because we're coming to the sort of end of the show. But I just want to, before we go, is quickly get our predictions for the Huddersfield game. So what are your thoughts on the Huddersfield game? People in the chat, what do you think the score is going to be? Do you think we're going to turn this around? Huddersfield are not in great form, so it is a winnable game. We need to win it because we are getting very close to that bottom 4. So I'll start with Tom. Tom, what do you think the score is going to be against Huddersfield? And are you looking forward to seeing Ben Wiles?
If he starts, I know the Huddersfield fans aren't too happy with him. They're in a bit of bad form. We've lost the last two. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2. Desmond.
2-2. Who's going to score?
Sorry, my coffee's absolutely horrendous tonight. Who's going to score? Go on, let's have a Nombe brace if he's back.
Nombe, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go through some chat. So Jonathan Sheard, need a win. He's going to go 2-1. Nicky Holland is going 1-0 Rotherham. Rotherham Gaming says 3-1. He's confident. So, Bez, are you as confident as the chat? The chat are confident tonight. So, Come on, Bez. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't let the chat down.
Yeah, I can't believe that we've not scored a goal against two of the worst sides in the division, and people think we're going to score 2 and 3. I just can't see it. I don't know who's fit and who's not fit. I'm starting to get sick and tired of having to find out all the time, to be honest with you. I'm going to go for a 1-1 because Huddersfield have drawn a hell of a lot of games in the last kind of 2 months. So I'm going for, they've drawn 3 out of like 5. So I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Goal scorer?
Own goal.
Own goal. So I'm going to go with Nicky Holland. I'm going to say Rotherham will win 1-0. And he's been getting stick all week. And I'll tell you now, he's going to shove it up their arse. Jordan Hugel's going to get one off his backside. We're going to win 1-0. And hopefully it progresses us up the table and we can start winning games again. Because at the end of the day, I want Rotherham to win. I don't like this sort of feeling of, oh, not again. Because I thought we'd gone past it. We went on that unbeaten run. I know we didn't win many games, but I know you two were saying, oh, he's on Matt Amshaw's side now. I wasn't on his side. A lot of fans want me, like, moaning at me now that I praised Matt Amshaw, but unlike them, like when Evans or whatever were in the manager and we played brilliant against Charlton, they couldn't admit it was a brilliant game. They get too enthralled in manager FC, player FC. I support Rotherham United. I want us to win every time we go on that football pitch. I couldn't care who's the manager. I couldn't care who's the chairman. I don't want my football team to lose just so a manager loses his job. It's just not what I'm about. I want my team to win. And I think I've been fair. I think I've given Hamshaw praise when he's deserved it, like the Lincoln game and a couple of other games where I thought he did well. I mentioned the substitutions where I thought he'd done good substitutions, because I call out the bad substitutions. It's not fair. It's not fair on me to call everything out that he's doing bad, and then if he does something good, I'll just ignore that part, like the Happy Cappers do. Do you know what I mean? But I don't do that. I try and be fair and I try and be balanced. So, yeah, I've tried to be like that. And I just want my football club to be a success. I love Rotherham United. I have to blame my dad. I was brought up in Sheffield and I ended up having to support Rotherham. But I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. My nan lived in Rotherham. I've got family still in Rotherham. I love the town. I love the people. And I just want the football club to be a success. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel that at the minute, I don't think we're progressing. I just feel we're stagnant and we're staying at level peggings, really. We're slightly worse than last season. If you're going to look at it statistically, I've shown you that in the league tables. We were 10th at this point last season, so we haven't actually fully progressed, and that's what hurts me. I know sometimes I'm quite direct at how I put my points across, but it's just who I am. I can't really change, unfortunately. I'm a bit too old to be changing now. So Nicky Holland's come in with a comment. Good show, guys. Enjoyed listening. In football, it's about opinions and we're all entitled to one. We're all here chatting for a reason, because we love our club and we want the best for them up the Millers. And that's probably post of the night. And like I said, that's all we do. We're only football fans. doesn't mean that what I say is correct or what you say. Everybody's got an opinion, and that's why we love this show. We want people on, and like I said, we are looking for other members as well if they want to come on and join us on.
Nicky's a good guy.
Yeah, Nicky, if you want to come on, just send us a inbox or send us a message or whatever. We can get you on. We are looking to add a few new members to do the after-match reactions with us as well. We are really growing now. As I said, we are the number one. I mean, our after-match reaction last week, you look at this, if we talk about stats, we are the number one for the Rotherham United fan channel. So we are getting traction. We've only been going a few months as well. So what we have done in a short period of time is absolutely fantastic. And we can't do it without you guys in the chat as well. So you've done really well tonight. So anybody else got anything before I go and watch the second half of Manchester United, who are, by the way, winning 2-1?
Are they? Oh, they're winning 2-1. Oh, well, good.
Yeah. Casemiro just scored near half-time.
Oh, Casemiro. No, great show, lads. And listen, happy Clap FC. Sort your shit out and tune in.
Yeah, sort it out. Bez, anything from you before we go?
No, all been a good show as always, and yeah, Nicky, cheers for that comment. We do appreciate those sort of comments. So
yeah. Any feedback as well, guys? Like I said, this channel, it was only ever set up for you guys. So if there is anything you want us to do differently, please let us know, and we'll try and do it. We try and do it. I would say as well, X Miller, what I did a few weeks back, if you haven't watched that with Paul Dillon, absolutely fantastic. Real honest views on his time at Rotherham United, views on sort of teammates and stuff like that. So give that a watch as well. But yeah, thank you again. Roy says, great show, guys. Thank you, Roy. Quite a few new people in tonight as well. So really do appreciate it. I know if you see me on Twitter, if I'm perceived as the most hated Rotherham United fan, but actually I only care about the football club, and these guys don't deserve some of the stick that people get. But because of me, these have got more far bloody out views than me at times, but I don't know. Yeah, so and Rotherham Gaming is, I think it's a thumbs up. My eyes are getting bad though as well, so I'm getting old as well. So I think it's a thumb up or something.
It's a clapping hand, I think.
Oh yeah, clapping hand, yeah. Rotherham Gaming, always a pleasure, mate. Really good friend of the channel, so he's always in. So really do appreciate his support as well. So we will be back on Saturday afternoon for the aftermatch reactions. We've got the Premier League show on Thursday night. Friday night will be FPL night as well. So we've got a standing host for that. That will be Dan. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, they are. It's Ray, not Royal. Oh, sorry, Ray. Yeah, that's my eyes, Ray. I'm really sorry. I keep saying it's Roy, but it's not. It's Ray. Ray Grant. Sorry, Ray. Yeah, it's my eyes. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm probably need to start getting contact lenses in or something because I can't hardly see stuff at times now. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you click the bell button as well, that will notify you of any times we're going live or any content that's going to be posted will come straight to your phone as well. We are on Spotify as well, and we're also on Apple Music. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. So if you want to follow us on any of those, you're more than welcome to. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. And up the Millers.
Up the Millers. Cheers.